You know her as our racial equity expert. What you may not know is that Dr. Rosemarie Allen has been battling pancreatic cancer, and today she is sharing her story. Dr. Allen, thank you so much for being so brave and courageous to tell your story, because it'll impact so many lives.
Thank you. And Corey, I'm just excited to be here, literally and figuratively.
Yes. So you were diagnosed with pancreatic cancer, I think, in June of last year. How did all of that start for you?
You know, Corey, it was really amazing. The first sign that I had was actually my urine changed colors. I'm one of those people, I'm obsessed with clear urine, and all of a sudden it was a little yellow.
And no matter how much water you were drinking, it didn't change it?
At all. I started drinking up to 100 ounces a day.
Wow.
And after the second day of that, I thought something's just not right. Something's wrong. And I called my primary and I said, you know, my urine is a little yellow. And she said, is it dark? Or no, just a little yellow. And she said, well, let's watch it. And I said, you know, I think I'd better come in. So I went in, they ran tests. They first thought it was a UTI, and it wasn't. And they gave me some medication and said, let's watch for your kidneys. But deep down, I knew something wasn't right. The urine wasn't, the color wasn't clearing up. And finally, I went to the doctor and I said, why don't we just run a blood panel, liver and kidneys, and see what happens. And my normal liver enzymes are less than 40. Mine were 1,302.
Wow.
1,302, and they said, you need to get to emergency right away. And when I arrived, they had an ultrasound and a CAT scan, and they picked it up immediately. So from my first symptom into diagnosis was about 10 days.
So fast, and
So
you were
fast.
just an incredible advocate for yourself, and you have to. If you know, you feel like something deep down is wrong, you've got to push forward.
You have to, because we know our bodies. We know our bodies, and in conjunction with the urine, I was just feeling sick. I wasn't feeling well, and deep down I knew something was not right. And because I had a good relationship with my doctors, they listened. And after I was diagnosed and we had a follow-up, my husband thanked them for running the test. And he said, I would not have run those tests that early had she not asked for them.
So how are you today?
Oh, I am cancer-free.
Yay!
I am stage 1A.
Wow. Amazing.
I had an incredible surgery called the Whipple, and it is the life-saving surgery for pancreatic cancer patients. They took out part of my stomach, part of my intestine, part of my pancreas, and my gallbladder.
And so I want to get to your whole story. Your look's a little bit different today.
Yes, yes.
And you look gorgeous, beautiful as ever.
Thank you so much. And it took a lot of courage. When I was first diagnosed, I had a wig committee, and my girlfriends, they had a custom wig made for me.
Wow.
I've always had a lot of hair, and I wasn't comfortable with the bald look. And I celebrated this past weekend. I had a gala to celebrate God's victory over cancer in my life. And I came out this new authentic me, this new body, being cancer-free, and it feels good. It was a little scary at first, but I want to be authentic and let the world know the change that has happened in my body.
Dr. Allen, talk a little bit about why your case was a little bit different and what you learned from it.
Yes, first I want to say that African Americans are 58% more likely to be diagnosed with pancreatic cancer.
Wow.
And much more likely to die from it.
Wow.
But a couple of things that I really want to impress upon people. First is know your body. Know your body, and don't ignore even the slightest change. That the color of my urine was slight. It was small, but I knew it was different for me. And second, I had a great relationship with my doctors. They knew me, I knew them. When I expressed concern and said I wanted to come in, I was able to go in right away. And then, Corey, I surrounded myself with positive people.
Yes.
I had a no negativity rule. Even in my chart at the doctor's office, they knew they couldn't tell me the stage, percentage of survival rates. I didn't want to hear horror stories about everyone else who had this disease. And all I wanted to do was concentrate on healing. And my doctors were amazing. They'd see my chart and go, oh, nothing negative. And if I could just tell you, Dr. Schulich, my surgeon, he had to tell me what to expect after that major surgery. And he knew he couldn't phrase it in a negative way. And he said, you'll start to feel better after a month. It's like,
Great. Okay. All right. We could do that.
yes, I think you just
Month,
told me I'm
okay.
going to have a crappy month.
Yes.
He phrased it so positively because that was my request.
Yeah.
And the last thing is strong faith. I cannot underscore that faith, what God can do in my life. And that's how I got through. And however everyone else gets through, that faith and that dependence on friends and families is critical.
Well, I'm so happy that you're doing so well. You look fantastic. Thank you for sharing your story, because someone at home is probably thinking, I do think something's off. I know my body, something's off. They're going to get checked out just because of your story. So thank you for coming on today.
Thank you for having me.
And you are amazing.
Thank you
for
so
sharing
much.
your story.